discussing about the Selenium WebDriver. So in the Selenium WebDriver, if you see, we in the Selenium we having the three components. In the Selenium, if you go to the Selenium, dev URL, you can able to see three things. One is the Selenium ID, Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium Grid. So we have seen Selenium ID is a record and play, which is going to record our script and play whenever we required, and it is going to be play on the browsers only. So if you want to convert it into the programming language, you can convert it into the programming language by exporting that one. So Selenium Grid is nothing but which we can run our test scripts in different browsers, different operating system, and different environment in a short time. And the Selenium WebDriver. So most of our automation part which we are be going to do in this WebDriver only. When you start your project, you are going to be writing the code and you are all the scripts in this Selenium WebDriver only. So Selenium WebDriver is a web-based regression automation suite which is scalable to distribute the Selenium scripts across different environments, different platforms. Uh, we can run it in the different platforms, and we can run it in the different environment, and which is going to be supporting the multiple programming languages. So if you are familiar with the Java, you can uh, write your scripts in the Java. So Selenium WebDriver is a browser in which we can execute our scripts in the browser, and which is going to support both the language binder and implementing individual browser control. So first we will see what is Selenium architecture. So in the if you see the Selenium having a language binder where you are going to where you are having a binder and you are having one browser. So that browser, what the browser will do, uh, the browser will execute what the browser will containing the different browsers, and which is going to be contain a different browsers. This browsers instructions is whenever we are sending the instruction from through the browser, it will goes to the Selenium will check which language binder we having, and it can be executed. So coming to the architecture of Selenium, we are going to be divided it into the um, four parts, I can say that. So basically it is a advanced, I can say that in the Selenium we having a Selenium WebDriver. Selenium WebDriver, which is consisting of Selenium 3, I can say that, which consisting of Selenium. First one is the Selenium client libraries. So what is the Selenium client libraries? Which provides the multiple libraries for running our Java program. Suppose we having a Java libraries, so which supports the Java. uh, if you having a Ruby libraries, which is going to be supporting the Ruby libraries. Suppose you want to execute with the Python, it is going to be supporting. So I can say that in a simple words, it is a jars which is needed to execute. If you are familiar with the C languages, you have to import jars. So you are going to be importing some files. So import, if you see the C program, import a file dot extensions dot input output, like that you have to import this one. So next part is JSON wireless protocol over HTTP. So what it will do means, JSON is a is a JavaScript object orientation. Full form of JSON is JavaScript object notation. Basically what the object will do, the object give the reference of the instance. So whatever the object is nothing but the instance of class, we can say that in a simple words. So what it will do, suppose if I am having a if task of four things. So last time I have given you one example, like as a Sarita, I'm working as an employee, I'm working as a trainer, I'm working as a housewife, I'm working as a take care of my children. So these four things is going to be maintained by a single object reference. So that object reference is nothing but my name is a object reference for me. So generally we can create the object reference like a pet name or surname, which is going to be calling for all the activities. So it is a standard. What is JSON? So it is an open standard which provide to transport the mechanism to transport the data between the client and the server. So if I want to, so this will work as a JSON. So whatever the instructions I'm passing from the language binder, it is giving to the browser. So whatever the information I'm passing from the browser, it is giving to the Selenium. So here it is going to be maintaining maintenance between this one. So I can say that which transforming the data between client and server on the web application. So basically Selenium is a tool which is going to support the web based application. And the third thing which we are going to be called as a browser drivers. So what is mean by driver? So driver is nothing but which having a browser. So Chrome, we having a Chrome browser, Safari browser, IE browser, Edge browser, Firefox browser. So Selenium provide that negativity to each browser which interact with the browser by establishing secure connection. So once a connection is established, so if how we are going to connecting the network between our application, uh, suppose Google applications, you want to open the Google search you want to open. If you having the proper connection, if you having the net connection, then only you can able to open it. Similarly here also, whatever the Selenium want to execute the driver, in which driver you want to be executed, that driver should have the connection uh, um, between the browser and the application. So in the Selenium support different browsers such as Chrome browser. So in the Selenium, it is going to support the Chrome browser, Firefox browser. It is going to be support Edge browser. It is going to be supported. It is going to be support Safari browser. It is going to be supported. Um, supported. So we having, and most important that HTML headless browser, it is also going to be uh, browser, it is going to be supported. So what it means it is supporting the headless browser which contains, it will not open the browser when you want to search any application. Actually what you are doing, you are opening that applications and you are going to be typing something, it is opening the application. You are able to see the browser here. In the headless browser you are not able to see the um, browser. Next one, browsers. So browsers is the fourth part in the architecture. So here what it will do means Selenium provide the different browsers like Chrome browser, Firefox browser, which we want to be executed. So coming to the diagram part of the Selenium WebDriver here, I will draw the architecture of Selenium WebDriver. This is the Selenium client server, client a library, I can call it a libraries. This is JSON wide protocol. This is browser direct. Ad- This is only uh, a real time. I can say that real time browsers which we want to be executed. So whenever I'm sending the instruction, so first what I will do, I will send the instructions uh, to my client library. So whenever I'm sending the instruction, it will goes to this one, and it will check in which driver it has to be executed. Suppose I want to execute it in the Chrome browser. It is a real time browser. It will check it and it will execute and it will display the result to this browser directory. Uh, So here there is a no direct communication between the client library. So whatever the language we are choosing, it will be communicate between that uh, library. It will send the instruction from the libraries to the JSON script. So this is a one. This is nothing but the architecture of Selenium WebDriver. So we having the Selenium WebDriver for architecture also, which is consisting of these parts only. But here what happening in the fourth part means, here in the place of WebDriver, we are going to having W3 uh, protocol. W- W3 protocol we are going to having here. W3, what is mean by W3? Uh, uh, Generally, W3 is nothing but worldwide applications of worldwide web applications. Uh, so this W3 console protocol, which we are going to be using for our uh, testing purposes. So it is a where we are in the 3 it is going to be handled by the JavaScript, but in the 4 it is going to be handled by the web applications. Web applications are always having the HTTP protocol. So currently we are updated with the version fourth version. So basically if you want to see which version we are going to be working, you can go to the download. See here, latest version. What is the latest version for the Selenium? 4.25 is there. If you want to see the configuration documents, you can see it here. This is Selenium. So first we will see WebDriver, then we will go back to other parts. So WebDriver. So WebDriver, what the WebDriver will do? WebDriver is designed for a simple and more consistent programming languages, which is going to be supporting the programming language, which is a component of object oriented API, and it is a browser. It drives the browser efficiently, so it will work on the WebDriver application. So Selenium is purely designed to test the web based application. Okay. So to getting starting with the Selenium. So Selenium having few resources like web driver sessions. So driver sections which is going to handle our sections. What sections it is going to handle is, So which is going to be connecting with the local driver. How it is going to be connecting with the local driver means whenever you want to start the Selenium, first basic things what you need is you need predefined applications. So to that predefined applications, what we will see here. So with the Selenium, what type of testings we can perform? First thing, so we can perform the regression testing. So by using the Selenium WebDriver only, I can use any programming languages. So with the help of that programming languages, whatever the manual work I'm doing in the regression, that can be overcome by writing the reusable script in the form of functions and methods. I can execute that one. So that is one of the advantages by using the Selenium WebDriver. We can perform the retesting. So we can perform the retesting by using the Selenium. And retesting is nothing but I am going to be repeating the multiple loops. Uh, with the multiple loops, I can able to execute the scenarios n number of times. And next one, we can validate the application by using the control statement. If positive test cases we want to write, it will successful. If we have entered the invalid password, what we are getting? If we and at that time, what we have to get? If we have entered correct password, what we have to get it? So the type of conditions we are going to be maintaining by writing the conditional statements in the Selenium. Okay, we can produce the reports. So by using the Selenium, we can perform the database testing, and we can use used for executing the reports here. We can executing the reports there. So that is one of the advantages by using the Selenium WebDriver. And error handling. So error handling. So here we can handle the errors. How we can handle the errors uh, by using the try catch, we can handle the errors. Okay, and re-executing the failed test cases. So it we can re-execute the failed test cases. We can group the test cases. We can another thing what we can do is cross browser testing. Also we can able to perform cross browser testing. We can able to perform. We can perform the functional testing. All types of functional testing we can able to perform here, which is going to be supporting and different programming languages, uh, which we can test the acceptance testings with the help of this one, and which is going to be supporting the multiple browsers and multiple programming languages and multiple operating system, mm, which is going to be supporting. So the main advantages of Selenium, why we are preferring the Selenium, so it is an open source which is freely, there is a no license. Cost is also very if we are not taking the license, it is a free to download it. So there is a no problem, and which is going to supporting the multiple programming language, multiple operating the test case. If we are using with the Selenium, uh, what the Selenium will do means, main advantages of using the Selenium WebDriver, um, or Selenium you can say that, which managing the test cases and generating the reports. To generate the reports, what we have to do? To generate the reports, we have to write another code to generate the report. Suppose if you want to prepare a RTM document, so RTM document is not directly is going to be prepared. So you have to open a Excel and you have to prepare that one into the Excel. But here we have inbuilt tool which is going to be sending the reports by using we having some tools called as a test next generation JUnit. So JUnit is the older one. Most of companies, I can say that 99% companies are not using that one. All companies are using the test only. And another thing for achieving the continuous integrational thing, here only to achieving the continuous integrational uh, for achieving continuous testing for my applications, um, I can integrate it by using uh, Jenkins with Jenkins. I can integrate with Jenkins. Now Maven, mostly we are integrating with the Maven. We can integrate with the Docker objects. We can integrate, and Selenium support the parallel execution, which it support the parallel execution. Parallel execution is going to be supported by the Selenium. So why we want to execute parallel? So if we execute it parallelly means suppose we having 100 test cases. So each test case, if I have to put again run, and every for 100 test cases I have to put every time run. So what I can do is I can group the test cases. So test case grouping, and I can run that one. And Selenium support the framework pattern. So what type of framework pattern it is going to be support? It is going to be support the BDD and TDD. Behavioral driven and traditional driven methodology we are going to be following here. So that is the advantages of using the Selenium WebDriver here. So Selenium is going to be support mostly for testing the uh, for testing the functionality type of scenarios. So functionality types of scenarios, we having the different types of functional testing. So unit testing, which is going to be performed by that one. So we are not going to be automating the unit test cases. So which we are going to be automating the integrational testing, functional system testing, acceptance testing. In that one, it is mainly used for the regression purposes, retesting purposes. In the functional type, what type of executions we will do? Basically, in while running the test cases, what we should do means we can identify the tested inputs. So what input we have to go, what output we have to get, and compute the test output, and what output we are coming, and test execution. So what is the result of the test execution, and comparing with the input and output, whether we got the input correctly or not. So with the Selenium, we can perform the functional testing. In the functional testing, what type of testings we are going to be performing? Smoke testings. The smoke is the initial testing which we are going to be checking whether the all the functionality is working properly as per the expectation, whether we are able to install it in the application. UI testing, user UI testing, cross browser testing we can perform, sanity testing we can perform the regression testing, retesting we can perform the database testing, we can perform it. We can perform it. So these types of testings we can be performed by uh, using the Selenium WebDriver. So we can go back to our application again. So what type of actions we are going to be performing in the Selenium? So first actions which we need to perform in the Selenium WebDriver is, first thing, when we driver sessions. So which driver I have to execute? I can execute it this one in the Chrome driver, or I have to execute this one in the Firefox driver or Edge driver I want to execute. So to execute that one, I need is supported libraries for this one. Support browsers. So what type of browsers it has to support, and waiting strategy. So whenever I'm clicking it, it has to taking some time. What type of weights I have to use, whether I have to use implicity weight or explicit weight we have to use. So what type of weights we have to use, and web elements. So what type of actions I have to perform on the web elements, like click actions I have to perform, or I have to send some information with the help of send keys. I have to send the informations, or I have to drag that element, I have to drop that element, I have to click and select that element, click and select that element. What type of actions I should perform on that element, and browser interactions. So what type of browser interactions it is going to, it is opening with the new browser or it is opening with the old browser, and APIs, which what are the types of APIs, bidirectional, which supporting troubleshooting. This all is going to be happened with the Selenium WebDriver. So if you want to interact with the Selenium WebDriver, you should have the common language to interact it. If you want to interact, you should communicate with particular languages. I'm familiar with English, so I'm taking the classes in the English, so that so that I can communicating with my English languages. So similarly, if you want to contact with the Selenium Vibe driver, you should communicate with any programming languages. So that programming languages which I'm going to cover is the Java programming language. So with the help of the Java programming languages, we are going to be connecting. So in my training sections, what are the topics I am going to cover in this Selenium training is, so I have discussed what is Selenium, why Selenium, what are the versions we having in the Selenium, how to configure that software. So we will cover in this section these topics. So once we have covered this one, so I have covered till here. So what are the versions we have to use and how to configure that software, I will explain this one. So once I have completed that one, I will start with the Java. So here in this training, don't worry that I don't know any programming languages, whether I'm able to learn this Java programming language or not, means, so you can able to learn it quickly. Why? Because I'm going to be starting from the scratch onwards, basic uh, Java programming language. What is Java? How to install that Java? How to operate Java? Why we have chosen that Java? How it is integrating with each other? We will see it. Conditionable statements. How to control the operators? What is the conditionable statements? What are the access specifiers? What are the hoops concepts we having? Like hoops concept we having class, object, inheritance, abstraction, interface, polymorphism, and coming to the advanced topic which is needed for the Java collections. So in the Java collections we having class, list, map, arrays. We are going to be covering these things. Next one we will cover with the Selenium ID, how to record it, how to record a single script, how to record a multi-script, and how to find the locators, how to verify and assert this topic. And RC mostly I'm not going to be covered. Why? Because I told you from the 2014 onwards the RC has been removed. And next one I have told you, with the help of Selenium we can send the reports. So for the reporting part, what we have to do, we need to integrate with the JUnit or TestNG. So we are going to be covered with the test ng. So next one, interaction of handling the web elements. So how to handle the web elements? So I want to click on web element. So how to click on that web element? If I want to drag that web element, how to drag that web element? If I There is a text box. In the text box I need to send the information to the text box. How to send that information to the text box? How to handle the multiple windows, multiple tabs, pop-ups, alerts, actions, we can able to see it. Window freezing. So how to increase the window size, how to decrease the window size? Sometimes what happening, the window size is very small, some elements we are not able to see it. So whenever the browser is searching for that element, the element is not visible, then it will throw a exception that element is not visible. So if I maximize it, I can able to see that element. So that type of actions how we have to perform. And moreover we are going to be concentrating on mouse over actions. So mouse over actions, whatever the mouse over actions I'm going to cover here is how to how to right click, left click, how to place a mouse over on the particular element. Suppose in some applications what we have means, I will open some spiced application. So whenever I'm placing mouse on this one, it is displaying the list. If I'm placing mouse, it is not displaying any list. If I'm placing mouse on this one, it is displaying the list. See here. For other element, it is not displaying. This is a mouse over action. So how to handle this one? Everything we will see in the upcoming classes. And Selenium grid. So in the Selenium grid, how to run the Selenium with the multiple browsers, multiple operating system, how to connect with the DB, we are going to be discussed. So to implement our task, so I have told you, we are we are managing our code in BDD and DDD work. So framework is nothing but a structural way of organizing the data. Suppose if you go to the malls, so there you put less effects to pick your favorite dresses. Why? Because they have divided for the men's section separate, for the ladies section separate, for the kids section separate, and they are going to be maintaining as per the sizes also. So it is very quick to choose the particular applications. And why we are using this framework means, suppose I have worked for this organization for 1 year, have left, 2 years project is there, I have left this organizations, I am working for the another organization. You came to my place and you want to start it. So if you want to start it, you should know where I have to stop, where I have to stop. If I'm writing 1,000 lines of code, so there is a big confusion. So what I will do means, I will maintain in a separate blocks, so that easy to handle and easy to maintain. Okay. So in that one we having keyword framework, data driven framework, hybrid framework. This one we are going to be following with the um, a page object model approach. We can have, we can use the web services also. In the web services we are going to be using REST API, Postman, and REST Assure. And we are mostly following the BDD framework. So TDD framework we can follow, and we can follow the BDD framework. So TD is a traditional data driven, and it is a simple framework. In BDD, which is a behavior. So in a behavior driven framework, we having some scenarios like given, when, then, and then which consisting of three files, feature file, step definition file, page file, and build tools. So so I told you for the continuous integration as tools, we having when we having Jenkins, we having Docker applications, so we can choose anything. And next one, reporting tool. So reporting tool, which is which we are going to sending the reports, and mostly we can use the log4j. So Selenium having a inbuilt test ng reporting tool, so you can use that simple reporting tool, or you can use some extend reporting tools and the reports. So to handle the desktop applications, we are basically using auto it or auto sql application. So this is nothing but the whatever the topics we have to learn before starting the Selenium. If you want to learn, if you want to work with the Selenium, basically you should know a particular language to communicate it. So in this language, by using the Java languages, you are going to communicate with both programming language and a tool which is going to be called as a Selenium as a tool which we are going to be using in that tool. Okay, that's all today's class. Tomorrow we will start with the Java. Thank you.